Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Sports Den Live. My name is Domenic Papa. Congratulations goes out to the AKO Fratman football team. They now improved to 2-1. They knock off the London Beefeaters 27-14. Windsor Stars soccer is struggling. They're on a 3-game losing skid. They'll be at home this Saturday evening, 7 o'clock at the McHugh Soccer Complex. They'll look to snap that 3-game losing skid, so get out and support the Windsor Stars soccer team. Also, good luck to the LaSalle Vipers and Leamington Flyers Junior B hockey teams as they kick off their schedules this week. And we want to give a shout out to all the Junior C teams also already playing their 2014-2015 schedule. Speaking of Junior C hockey, you can watch some of it live right here on WeTV this coming Friday, September 12th. It's the opening night of the new Lakeshore hockey complex. It's a beautiful facility. The Lakeshore Canadians will be taking on the defending champions Essex 73s. We will have all the action for you live right here on WeTV starting at 7 p.m. Hope you can join us for that. Actually, Bill Kelso will be calling the game for us. What are we going to talk about today? Well, there's only one thing to really talk about today. What's hitting the sports news everywhere? NFL Ray Rice. Boy, oh boy, what a mess for the National Football League. Roger Goodell has his hands full. Ray Rice is out of football. His wife has now spoken. John Harbaugh of the Ravens has spoken. We're going to get into all of that with our panel. I don't know if we'll have time to talk about our secondary topic. It's going to also be another football topic as we talk about the Notre Dame-Michigan Wolverine rivalry coming to an end and Notre Dame just being humbled by the Fighting Irish 31-0. We'll get the panel's thoughts on that if we do indeed have time. And the Detroit Lions, wow, very impressive in their home opener. I don't think we'll have time for it, but let's just say we're thinking about the Lions and off to a great start. If you do want to get involved with the show, we invite you to tweet in. You can contact us at our Twitter account. Right there, you can see Twitter at SportsDen Live. And you can be a part of the show. If I have time, I will read some of the comments or questions you have for our panel. And we have a great panel assembled here tonight. 3 great sports guys, 3 very outgoing people joining us here on the Sports Den. Brett Hedges is with us. Of course, he's the voice of the Windsor Express basketball team, and he's getting involved in a lot of other sports commentating. He's going to be a great up-and-coming broadcaster for the area. Welcome to the show, Brett.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Dom.
Exciting time, hey?
Very exciting time. Just finished school and just looking to get out there and start commentating as many games as I can now.
Yeah, well, you do a good job, and
Thank you.
And certainly you had the luxury and honor of calling Express basketball last year and calling a championship.
That's right. Very spoiled indeed. What better way to get your career started than getting a championship team like the Windsor Express?
What was that like for you?
Oh, it was very surreal. Just going in as a 21-year-old kid, going into the winter, going to call a game against the Halifax Raymond, and then getting the full-time gig and working with a bunch of really good crews and a bunch of really good people in the NBLC basketball world, and then culminating it into a championship this year with the Express over the PEI Storm.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, that's for sure. And like I said, you did a great job with it. Thanks for coming in today, okay, Brett?
No problem.
Also on the panel, one of my favorite guys to talk any sports with, but his passion is volleyball, no question about that. He's an outstanding volleyball coach. He's an outstanding volleyball promoter. He's a good sports promoter, and just love his energy. Of course, we welcome Sean Lippert to the studio.
I noticed that you stumbled on player.
Well, I would imagine you played.
No, I sucked.
Did you?
I was terrible, man.
Oh, come on.
I never came off the bench once. I played on the Roseland Rams, the grade school, and then I was at Kennedy Collegiate and never started once, but got a championship out of with the Roseland Rams with Mary Hewart.
Yeah, but obviously you love the sport. I mean, you stuck with it.
Yeah, I got the invite from Bill Clinton-Smith in 1992. And I've been coaching ever since.
Yeah, and the passion, how has that remained with you? Like, what is it? Like, I mean, some guys, you know what, they get into it, they go crazy. I mean, you've made it to the highest level here, being with the university program.
Yeah, I got as high as you can get.
But you're still hungry, you're still there.
Well, I don't know about hungry. Like, listen to this guy, 21 years old. He's, I'm so excited.
23 now.
Oh, yeah. I have a hard time getting out of bed right now, grabbing my back and struggling.
But you're still involved with a lot of good things.
Yeah, I have the Riverside Rage Volleyball Club. I'm going to be a full-time administrator with that. Our head guy, Phil Haddad, who's been in sports forever, he's slowing things down, and he handed over the volleyball program to myself and handed the basketball program over to JK, and we're taking the reins.
All right, good stuff. Good luck with that, and thanks for coming in. Also on the show, another very well-known person in our community. He's had a sports career come and go, but he's still involved with things, and he's also launching some of his own other business ventures. Kim Elliott is on the set with us, and welcome to you, Kim.
Thanks for having me, Dom.
Spectrum Showcase.
Yes, sir.
It's becoming reality.
Sure is. Second week of October.
We're hoping, yeah.
Brought to you by a partnership between Spectrum Entertainment Productions and WeTV.
Okay, tell our viewers a little bit about it.
Well, I think it's something that's long overdue. We have a lot of celebrity homemade, as well as those that pass through Windsor, that don't get showcased enough. And you can think of the Arsenio Hall show, right? Some of the attention he brought to LA celebrities, of course Letterman in New York. We need something like that locally for Windsor, Detroit. And so I mentioned we have a lot of homemade people. Sometimes our celebrities like Alexander Janjic are better known, away from home than they are here, right? You see the name on a poster, but who are they? Some of our athletes, like Otagwe now, out of the NFL. So we want to showcase that exactly, that. We'll also do some cultural things, some heritage spotlights, as well as some arts.
Because it sounds like a good undertaking, and something I agree with you that certainly is needed in our area. Your sports days, what do you remember most about it?
It's interesting. I was saying with Sean here, I played basketball. Like my primary thing I'm known for is basketball. I played at Forster under Coach Bob Turner. Taught me a lot about the game. I only played
Coach
one
Turner,
game of
good
high
man.
school. Yeah,
Good
one
man.
game of high school basketball, and that was enough to make the Lancer team and play for 3 years. But
Tell them about your
volleyball
championship. Yeah.
is the only AAA championship that I have. Forster toppled Riverside. They were like a powerhouse in Assumption, and we were a bunch of ragamuffins. We just had the best defense. They'd bang it off our head. We run up in the stand, put it back, 3 hits, and it's over. We had some good hitters. I don't know, Ed Sriracha, those guys, but those are the main things. But speaking of coaching, I found as a former athlete, I get as much out of coaching as I've ever gotten out of playing.
Yeah.
I did some coaching
for
at
sure.
the high school level in basketball, volleyball, and I really got into it. And now sports writing. No matter where you touch the sport, if you get into it with any kind of sincerity, it goes back
I
to
think that's one of the beauties of sport. There are so many avenues to take in and really be a part of, whether it's behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the bench, whatever. There's a lot of different avenues that people don't realize and certainly could make the difference in a team or an organization being successful as well. I mean, you have to have as good a team off the playing surface nowadays as you do on the playing surface.
I'm actually looking forward this year. This is the first time that I've actually stepped away from coaching. Like sometimes coaching 3 teams a year at every level, but this year I'm strictly going into the administrative side, and we have 6 coaches this year, right down to we're doing spikes at grade 2, 3, and 4, all the way up to 18U with Martin Pevenito.
All right, well, they'll miss you, Sean.
The kids probably won't.
All right. We're going to start this off again. Ray Rice, I mean, this is everywhere. This is blowing up and just blooming. And what a headache for the NFL. What a headache for Ray Rice and his wife. If you haven't seen the incident, we'll show it to you. Again, this is a little bit disturbing, but this is what's caused all the commotion. This is Ray Rice and his, at the time, fiance at an Atlantic hotel, entering into an elevator. There's some type of altercation. They get out, and you can see that there's a swing there. Then his wife confronts him, and it's one left hook right to the jaw, and she's out. And you can see she also hits her head on a railing, which didn't help matters at all. And then, Ray Rice basically just throws her into the elevator here. Very disturbing. And of course, at the time that this all took place, there was the report. The NFL suspends Ray Rice for 2 games. And then all of a sudden, Roger Goodell comes out and he says, I made a mistake. And he suspends Gordon for the entire season. But the Ray Rice thing stays to 2 games. And the video hadn't been, watched yet supposedly by Roger Goodell, nor the Baltimore Ravens, but TMZ gets it no problem.
The sad part about that is that they say 0 tolerance, but it sounds like they have like 0 tolerance for video footage of a scenario. They get 2 games, and all of a sudden the video footage comes out, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. I'm not here to defend them, but you still live in a society where you're innocent to proven guilty. So you take a charge,
does that
how
video-
can you act on
okay.
it? That is
I agree with
obviously
you,
a
Kim. You're
conviction.
right. That you have
But
that.
until you
but
have
but
that,
is that video there not damaging? I mean,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
At this point, you can definitely begin to judge their,
So is
their
that-
actions. I
is that-
wasn't sure what they were
okay.
abreast of
Is that
prior
where
to
is that where maybe you give Roger Goodell some slack then, and say, 2 games? There was the report of domestic violence. He gave the 2-game suspension.
Yeah.
And he again had said
But what's-
straight up,
what's
and he's
wrong-
fighting it now that he had never saw the video.
What does the video matter to,
Well, this is where all the arguments are coming in.
Forget this is even domestic violence. This is just violence. In an elevator. Because it's a woman and it's his fiance, that makes it domestic abuse, and there's all kinds of ways you can look at it like that. But just the fact that this guy clocked another human being in an elevator and is charged with assault, doesn't that hold any
Oh,
clout?
absolutely. But as an employer, I'm sure you get complaints about your employees. That's how it's looked upon all the time. But until there's merit on the table, you can't go off on every accusation, even a charge, because people are acquitted every day. So when you know the facts, it's different. But to be an employer and to act without just cause, because you can only go by what you know, I think it's a touchy situation. The fact that he
Well, it's all
suspended
very
him right on
touchy.
the charge alone, I think that bodes well for him, actually.
Go ahead, Brett.
And Coach Harbaugh in his presser earlier today said that
we've
it
got
changes-
some of that.
Yeah,
It
it changes everything.
Well,
seeing the
again,
video.
he had defended Ray Rice in the beginning. He told him that he really appreciated Ray Rice as a player, as a person. That was when all of this initially came out, and there was the 2-game suspension. And he just said at the time that they look forward to getting Ray back into the lineup and contributing to the Baltimore Ravens. The politically correct things to say. Right. Now, John
cue the
Harbaugh.
boss.
Hey,
Now, John Harbaugh
Proper
is
time.
people are calling for his job. Literally, they're calling for his job and saying that he should be dismissed as the coach.
so there's a suspicion that he knew more? Is
Well,
that the
again,
case?
there's that whole suspicion around the NFL that they knew more. How could you not see the video is the big question right now. How can how can TMZ get this? And the NFL has said, we asked the law enforcement if they had any other information they could lend to us or give to us, if they had anything at all. And the law enforcement obviously said, we're not giving you anything else. So
I was just gonna say
I'm not saying that there wasn't anything, there wasn't, but you know what, there's all of this. John Harbaugh had a press conference today. Let's see if we can take some of that in and maybe give you a little perspective where this is at.
It's something we saw for the first time today, all of us. And it changed things, of course. It made things a little bit different.
John, did he mislead you? Were you misled in any way? Because you stood up here and defended the guy, and now you see the video and make this decision.
I don't want to get into all that. I don't think of it that way. Everything I said in terms of what I believe, I stand behind. I believe that still. And I'll always believe those things, and we'll always stand in support of them as a couple. And that's not going to change.
Coach, how come the team wasn't able to see the video until today?
I have no.
So John Harbaugh, again, admitting that things have changed now.
Absolutely.
Since, witnessing the video. But he's still kind of defending Ray Rice there. I don't take back my comments, what he said. So at that time, he still felt, excited and wanted Ray back in the lineup when it was a 2-game suspension. That's pretty damaging, I think, under the circumstances. Go ahead, Brad.
In regards to the Ravens as an organization, they're just when they first commented on the altercation a few months ago, they said they were just trying to support Ray throughout the process and they were happy that he was making strides to become a better person during his time away from the game and everything like that. So,
Oh my God, it's like a standard template for
Of
these
cour's.
losers that are, let's face it, like as far as I'm concerned, they're both losers. Him and his wife, she's coming out now, saying when I look at it, I see 2 people that are immature and cannot handle an argument or an altercation. From what I understand, he spits at her, and that one part isn't he just spits at her. We're dealing with some anger management, or just even, just functioning in society. And then she attacks him, which is not the thing that you're supposed to do because you get spit at. And then of course he clocks her. These are two people with two problems. They need help.
Well, obviously they do.
They do, but this is, it's happening in sports, but it's pervasive in society. You're talking about an issue that's very pervasive in society, not limited to sports by any means, not limited to celebrity. Of course, the spotlight is more glaring.
Well, this is the NFL, though, Kim. And I
Right.
think that's why it's such a major
Well, yeah.
issue. I mean, the NFL is this huge
For sure.
entity now, and
Yeah.
it's billions of dollars. It's big business. I mean, let's face it. It's almost religion over in the United States. Every Sunday, the people are glued to their television sets. Stadiums are sold out. It does a lot, and you mentioned the employers. Well, the NFL employs Ray Rice, and they have to protect their image, so they're taking the steps that they can take. Does Ray Rice get a little bit of slack though? And I'm
Careful, Dom. Be careful.
Yes, no.
I see this Twitter line just blow up right
it's
now.
lighting up a little bit. I'm not defending Ray Rice and his actions. It's unacceptable. But the fact that his wife stood by him, she has even talked. She does she had a press conference.
She apologized
Even today.
in that press
yeah,
conference.
exactly.
For what?
And today, and here's what she put out on Instagram, and you can read it. I woke up this morning feeling like I had a horrible nightmare, feeling like I'm mourning the death of my closest friend, but to have to accept the fact that it really is a nightmare in itself. No one knows the pain that media and unwanted opinions from the public has caused my family. To make us relive a moment in our lives that we regret every day is a horrible thing. To take something away from the man I love that he has worked his ass off for all his life to just gain ratings is horrific. This is our life! Exclamation. And she goes on. Again, she's supporting her man. I give her full marks.
She has psychological problems.
Well, she does, but
I don't-
call them what they are. There
It's
is such a
unconditional
thing
love.
as,
I look
there's
at that as being
and
unconditional love.
There is a battered wife, battered woman syndrome. And children do the same thing who
Okay.
are abused. They
Okay.
still love
Is that what
the
she's
abuser.
doing?
That's
Of
what's going on.
course. Is that
So
what
just
it
to
is?
say you have a problem,
Who
what
takes-
is the problem?
Who takes a left hook from someone that they love and stay with them unless there's a problem? I mean,
George Foreman took many from Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
they
came
love
back
each
for
other.
more.
yeah, their family.
I mean, if I just say I didn't like Kim for any reason.
How can you not like Kim?
Yeah,
Come on.
and then I just gave him a left.
Come on,
Yeah, I would
Sean,
do
we
it.
just did. The
But I mean-
honeymoon's over already.
There's a problem there, right? And
There is a problem.
And from that moment on, Kim would not like me. We met today. We found some common ground, with volleyball. He's a nice guy, and if I clock him, it's over.
But you know what? Enemies make the best friends sometimes. And I'm not justifying what she did. I'm not part of their relationship, but there is a syndrome out there. And many of us can say, this guy and I, we couldn't stand each other. We fought every day, and now we're the best of friends. I don't know what the dynamic is there. It's deplorable. It's inexcusable, unequivocally. But obviously, it's not simple. We're talking about something that is pervasive in society on every strata. And in terms of athletes, if there was a concession to be thrown out, we live in our bodies, we live through passion. We're on the field, brains out there working for the quarterback in certain positions, but for the most part, it's like, kill.
Yep.
True story.
Sure.
So I think
You're saying he can't
in
turn it off?
in a heated situation, there's something going on there. For the NFL to have a policy, not many places of employment have a policy of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Very true.
Workplace harassment, yes. Obviously, it's pervasive in this sport and maybe other sports. And so it needs to be looked at. Like there's two responses. The penal one, let's just have the pile, right? Let's pile on Ray. And then there's the educational one. What really leads to this? Because that's what's going to prevent it.
Stuart has tweeted in, he said, the NFL has to nip this in the bud. They need to clean house right away, put this away, get rid of it. Get rid of Ozzie Newsome, who's the GM, I believe, of the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. Get rid of John Harbaugh, and Roger Goodell should also be
who's
gone.
this guy?
Stuart. This is just one of our...
Stuart, I'm going to tell you this. Burying it in the sand is not the answer.
No, he said to get rid of them. He said to nip this in the
get
bud.
rid of all of them?
And before it gets worse, get rid of all these
No,
guys.
I say you bring it forward and you keep talking about it because that's how stuff gets done.
Just giving you Stuart's opinion.
Yeah,
man.
Stuart, you better think again.
Okay.
It's an emotional reaction. It's an emotional reaction to a visceral, sensation. They're watching it. But you do got to stand back if you're talking about prevention. You can't just treat this like an isolated incident and just get rid of all them. And then, like you said, here comes another horde of them.
Yeah.
I don't know any better. It needs to be examined.
It needs to be in the forefront.
Absolutely.
It needs to be on the headlines. It needs to be talked on the sports den because that's how it comes. Just what was trending yesterday on Twitter, why I stayed. Why I stayed. That one woman put out there. Sure. Yeah, because she understood. She understood that by us showing that video again to this woman is going to bring her harm in her emotional state. And she wrote down, you know, this is, we're going to all consider going, what is this chick doing? Like, why is she hanging out with this loser and taking this? And she said, you don't know why until you're in that situation. And she wrote down, she tweeted why I stayed. That's and she kept listing everything why she stayed. She goes, you don't know what it's like when that door closes when it's them. You don't know what it's like when you got to deal with them.
All right, on that note, we got to take a break. Keep the thoughts going.
Pay
We're
the
going to continue
bills.
talking about Ray Rice, NFL. I also want the panel to tell me about Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner. Should he be a fall guy in this? And how will the NFL control the damage that's been done here and keep this game positive and going forward? We'll have that for you right here on the Sports Stand.
Adding new products or services to your brochure? Updating those drab business cards? Or looking to create a striking window display? In need of some screen-printed signs for that construction site or promotional campaign? Posters, vehicle wraps, and a whole lot more. At Angel Star Digital, our expert design and production team are ready to meet all your promotional needs. For samples of our work, check out our website at www.angelstardigital.com, or you can call us at 519-969-0712. That's 519-969-0712.
Bye.
Great. My car's blocked in.
I got this. I think the parking brake is on. Geez, what's in this thing? Rocks?
Thanks for sticking around to the Sports Stand. Domenic Papa, glad to have you along for the ride. We'll get back to Ray Rice and the NFL in just a moment. Again, a quick reminder what's coming up here on we-tv.ca. Junior C hockey action from the brand new Lakeshore Community Center. Friday, September 12th, it's the Lakeshore Canadians taking on the Essex 73s. We will have all the action for you live starting at 7 p.m. with the drop of the puck. Hope you can join us for that. Brett Hedges is here with us, our sports commentator. Also, Sean Lippert, sports promoter. And from the Spectrum Showcase, Kim Elliott joining us on the program. At the break, guys, okay, we kind of know where you all stand on with Ray Rice and how damaging all of that was. Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner. Let's go back to him for a moment. He has said right from the get-go, up until the point of yesterday, that he had never witnessed the video. He didn't know how damaging it was. He thought he made the right decision. He has apologized for that, and he has reevaluated things. Some people are calling for him, for his dismissal. Too harsh, or maybe the right way to go with this?
I believe as a commissioner, he's done the right things since all the videos have come out. He's revamped the domestic abuse policy. He's revamped it so that first offense is 6 games, which is
Substantial.
Substantial, yeah. And then the second offense is life. So I think it really makes the Players Association have to think about what kind of people they want to have in their union as well, because they have to be on board with that at Roger Goodell to make those changes.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the Players Union up, Brett. That's a good point. The Players Union, there's talk that they're going to fight for Ray on this, that they want him reinstated, and boy, that's a tough argument.
I don't know how they're going to win that argument. I mean.
Yeah.
He is going to serve his penalty.
Just public perception. What's that, Brett?
I was going to say that, well, because he's already been given the 2-game suspension, that's why they have to fight for him. He's already given up 4 games of pay for that. That was already predetermined, but he was only going to sit out 2 games. To grandfather in a new policy just because of Ray Rice and make him suspended throughout the league year after he's already served a penalty, I believe is wrong, and that's where the union's going to come in.
He's already been convicted. Am I correct in saying that?
He's pleaded down in a pre-trial.
But they
no jail time.
Passed him up on jail time.
Yeah, exactly.
And does that have anything to do with her coming to his defense?
Well, I'm sure that
it did.
played into it. I mean, again, you know, she's been defending this guy,
Well,
right?
she married him 2 weeks later.
And she married him 2 weeks after this. So again, you know, you got to look into that a little bit and say, well, you know what? And again, I'm not defending this, but if she's okay with this, you know, what happens in your home, Sean, or in Kim's home, or in Brett's home, that's your business.
But that, Dom, is violence. It doesn't, like I said, it goes back to, you know, just people treating people in general. Never mind that she's a woman. She's a human being. You just cannot treat people like that.
No argument here with you on that, Sean, but this is their home. Who are we to say to Ray Rice and his wife, this is how you have to live?
And there's the issue right there.
Yeah, it's violence. I have
people
every
like
right to try to
violence.
stop
Who
that.
are we to tell them that they can't do that, though?
Some people like
I believe
violence.
it's because of they're in the public eyes.
I
though.
find it-
if they want to,
Ray Rice is a public figure. That's
Yes.
the problem here.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Well,
and he's an
that's-
NFL public figure.
That's a problem
That's a
with
bigger
society.
problem.
That's a bigger
Yes, that's a problem with
So
society.
that's the problem here.
I read earlier today that the Baltimore Ravens are giving away, if you come in and trade your Ray Rice jersey, no matter where you got it, you can get another Baltimore Ravens jersey. That's
Yeah.
how they're defending it
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I
too.
mean, they're doing everything they can to
cover them up.
To cover them up, to do the right thing, so to speak. But back to Roger Goodell. Should he be a fall guy here?
I don't think so.
He's doing what he's
Whatsoever. I
supposed to
mean,
do, right? He's
we
doing
have
his
to look
job.
at it like this is not just football. If he was an educator, would you be kicked out of being an educator because of what you did at home? We can't treat the NFL differently than other careers, even though we're like, you know, hey, these are football players, basketball players. He's got to think like an employer in an educational field, industrial field. Can I kick this person out of their chosen field of? I mean, there's got to be some legal limitations to that.
Absolutely.
So as much as I would agree with him passionately, maybe even morally, ethically, legally, can you do that? That's what he's up against. And so I don't have all the answers, but I suspect
I think
that he's
everybody
being
has
advised
opinions on
along
this.
the lines
Well,
that he's
yeah,
not
I'm sure
acting
he's got
alone.
advisors. I mean, the NFL's got lawyers, no
Well, there
doubt
you go.
about
There's
it.
got to be some things that
And I'm
we're
sure
not
there's a
aware of.
lot of consultation going on for Roger Goodell, and you know, he's making the ultimate decisions. But yeah, I mean, he's not handling this on his own for
Well,
sure.
let's face it, as soon as the video came out, again, I was leading back to earlier at the beginning of the show when I said the NFL has a zero tolerance policy on video footage.
Right.
I mean, like, that's kind of what has happened. But I mean, do we blame him for the actions that I don't think you can blame him because if you look at it in order, he's done everything he's supposed to do. He heard about it. He gave him 2 games. It went through court. He pleaded down. It went. He married the wife. So he's only got so much information and he's filtering it through. And then all of a sudden, he sees it the way that we see it through TMZ Sports, and he has a holy shit moment. Like, oh man, I gotta have this solved instantly. And that's what he did. Can you blame him for that? No.
It was the Baltimore Ravens that made the first domino fall, though, by releasing him from his contract. So I believe, in my opinion, it was the
As soon as that video
NFLPA,
came out, yeah, they did
the
not
Baltimore
hesitate.
Ravens and the NFL brass. They all said, "Hey, this is how it's got to go for him to be punished the way that we feel he has to be punished." And it was the organization, not the NFL, that cut him.
Right, but they're certainly working in unison now.
Yeah, for sure. Cliff has said this will not bother the NFL at all. It's too big. It's too powerful. This will go away. NFL has nothing to worry about. Damage control by the NFL now. They're in damage control mode, obviously.
I went to
well, that's the problem here, though, Sean. And that's, I mean, how many times can you say sorry? How many times can you, just say, we'll deal with it and not take on the responsibility or be accountable for the actions of your employees and of your management teams, I guess, starting with Roger Goodell and down. That's where it starts. So how damaging is this to the NFL? Will it have an effect on the
We
NFL?
all know that most of those players in the NFL are immature. This is an immature reaction to a situation. There's no other way to look at it. I mean, other than maybe he's like a psychopath, but I don't think he's a psychopath.
We all know that.
Yeah.
I see some gentlemen actually in the NFL.
I'm not saying
can
all
look
of
at
them.
any one team.
I'm just
and
saying
I
all
can
of
kind of
them.
see, varying degrees of maturity, behavior, and when you interview coaches locally, that's where I've gained insight. Coach Demore, Coach Valley, Coach Oliver, they talk more about character development or as much than they talk about skill development.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that's going on there. I think they come there immature, in fairness, out of college. But by the time that you're a 10-year, 15-year pro, by then you're ready to be a statesperson. That's how they actually develop their players on and off the field.
How do you explain that situation? Okay, let's just look at it, just that Ray.
Quickly, Sean, we got about 20 seconds. So.
All right, how do you explain that one situation irrationally, like how that reaction happened?
With regard to this gentleman
Yes.
here, I cannot. And I will not. As I said, I think this is a microcosm of a much broader problem in society.
Society problem.
He's the scapegoat, and rightfully so at this moment.
All right, Brett, thanks for coming in. Go ahead, quickly.
Brady Hoke always said, "Don't hit girls."
Yeah, well,
That's what he said earlier today.
Brady Hope better get his guys starting to hit some opponents and putting a win together. Brett, thanks for coming in. Sean,
Thank you.
great stuff. Kim, always good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Sports Den. We'll see you again next Tuesday right here at we-tv.ca. Until then, this is Domenic Papa wishing you a great day. Take care, everybody.